Okay, Scott. I think it's either S or Scott J. I can't make that out. That's my own rotten writing. Thoughts on fruit trees? Do they attract critters? Well, Scott, the answer to that is yes and no. Here's the thing. I've got a neighbor behind me. He's got, I'm trying to think what he's got back there. He's got 2 lemon trees in a great big pot on the side of his lanai, and they grow great, by the way. She makes lemon pies or lemon cake or something like that with them. He's got a line of fruit trees between him and his neighbor. He's got, I know he's got 1 or 2 orange trees. He's got a grapefruit tree. I'm not really sure what the other trees are. And they produce fruit. Now, these trees aren't huge yet, but they produce fruit. He picks it and they use it. They don't attract any critters whatsoever, probably because he picks the fruit. And that keeps everything off the ground. What you're probably referring to in the older areas of the villages, which is Calumet, up in that area up there, the fruit trees are much bigger. And a lot of people just let them go. The fruit lays all over the ground. It starts to rot, ferment, stink, smell. Seeds are on the ground. And yeah, those will attract critters. Could be anything from birds to ants, rats, mice. It'll attract critters. Keep it cleaned up, keep the trees trimmed, you won't have that problem. Another problem is people like to put out bird feeders, and they put it in the paper all the time about they're trying to get people not to do that because the birds make a mess, seeds fall on the ground, and that attracts mice and rats and such because the seeds are on the ground. And then if they had the bird seed and they store it in their lanai, the rats smells that bird seed. They're going to chew through the screens in the lanai to get to that bird seed. So it's really all boils down to common sense. Once again, just keep the area clean. If you want to grow fruit trees, just keep the area clean, and you won't have any problem. We don't have a problem here, but I do know that can be a problem, yes. If they don't keep the ground clean, they don't keep the trees clean, trimmed, pick the fruit, then yeah, you're going to have a problem. Sylvain L. Difference in regional rec centers and neighborhood rec centers. Well, that's simple. Here's a main difference. If you're a full-time resident, or a part-time resident for that matter, that don't make no difference, and you need a guest pass for some people, your grandkids coming down and visiting you, and you need a guest pass so they can legally go to the pools or go, I don't know, go to some of the activities that they have that requires a pass. Like if you want to go into the your neighborhood rec center, that's where the pool tables are. And I don't know what else they got in most of them, but ours has a pool table area. There are several pool tables in there, actually. That's where the kids can go swim in a swimming pool. Is that your neighborhood rec center? There's where the bocce balls, shuffleboard court, cornhole toss, barbecue area. I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff in a neighborhood rec center, and they got to have a guest pass actually to be there. And there's every now and then somebody will come around with a scanner and look for them guest passes and scan them. So if you want a guest pass, you have to go to a regional rec center. Every area has a regional rec center. That's where you go get the guest pass. That's the main difference. Regional rec centers are much larger. That's where the sports pools are generally at. Sports pools. That's where you do your lap swimming. That's where the water volleyball will be held. There's things that goes on at a sports pool that does not and should not go on at a neighborhood pool. That's also where you have different activities also. Like we have tennis and pickleball courts at our neighborhood rec center. You'll have at our area, Eisenhower is the regional rec center. So at Eisenhower, we have platform tennis. I think they have volleyball, or beach volleyball there. I know they got pickleball. They got some other stuff that goes on there, but they have their own activities there. And there's also, that's where the meeting rooms are at. In the summertime, we have our neighborhood socials. That's where our neighborhood gets together. We have a pitch-in dinner kind of thing. And we might hire some entertainment to perform there so we can dance, listen to some music, that kind of stuff. In the wintertime, because all the snowbirds are here, we have to move that because our regional rec center isn't big enough to seat that many people. We have to move it to Eisenhower Rec Center, to one of their rooms. There are several rooms there. They're much larger than here. And so we have to move it there. So every area, especially if you come down south of 466, every area has a regional rec center. That's where you get your guest passes. And your neighborhood rec center, that's where your visiting grandchildren goes and can swim in the pools. That's the major difference. What kind of exercise centers is free? I'm not sure you call them exercise centers. There's exercise centers in different rec centers. I know that Colony has a exercise center in it, but it's not free. You have to have a membership to go in there. Or if you're a visitor, and I stopped there and asked one time, he told me it was $5 a day for a visitor to use the exercise center. As a resident, I don't know what it costs. You have to call them, go in there and ask them. I do know that in the villages of, I think, Silver Lake, and I'm trying to think, in Finney there's a place. I can't think of the name of it. I think it's in Finney, where they have outside walking trails that lead you to outside exercise equipment. Those are free, and anybody can use them. There's an exercise center inside the Finney Regional Rec Center down there. I don't believe it's free. I believe you have to have a membership to use it. The village residents may or may not get a discount. It's something you have to check out. I've never asked. So I don't really know all the places, but I know that they're scattered around. What is in amenity fees? Well, the amenity fees pays for a lot. All the swimming pools is paid for by your amenity fees. All the golf cart trails are paid for by your amenity fees. I'm trying to think of some other stuff. Everything inside a rec center is part of your amenity fees. The pool halls, the shuffleboard, bocce ball courts, lawn bowling, air rifle ranges, softball fields, archery ranges. Oh my God, it just goes on and on. Plus, I think part of your amenity fees also is for the executive golf courses. All you got to do is pay for the trail fee, but your amenity fees is free golf. That's the free golf, the executive courses. There's all kinds of stuff that your amenity fees pays for. For $145 a month for amenity fees, we get a lot. And just keep this in mind, because I think people get confused about this also. As a village resident, your amenity fees pays for any place you want to go. You do not have to use the swimming pool that's closest to your neighborhood even though that's what most people do. I, for one, and I'll tell you right now, I get in my car once in a while, and I go all the way up to Silver Lake. That's where the old trailers, and they're starting to build new houses in there now, because they've got a neighborhood pool up there that has a jacuzzi. And it's one of the very, 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 very few jacuzzis in the villages that has resident access. They just decided years ago they were too expensive to maintain, and they just don't do it down here. I wish they did, but they don't. It's a shame to me that for the money we pay, that we don't get a jacuzzi here and there. I just think that's, in today's day and age, that just seems like, I don't know, cheap. How about, let's put it that way. But there is one up there, and I drive my car up there instead of taking the golf cart all the way up there. And I'll go to the jacuzzi for an hour or so and then come back home. I don't do it a lot because it's so far for me to go, but I do go up there once in a while. And as a resident, you can go anywhere you want. You can go 10 miles away to a whole nother village if you want to and use that pool because you like it there for whatever your reasons are. You do not have to use the one that's in your neighborhood, even though that's what most people do. Carrie M. Am I getting my driveway painted? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm torn between 3 options, actually. I haven't done anything yet because I just haven't made my mind up. I've gotten prices on all 3. The cheapest way to go is to paint. That's the cheapest way to go, and you can pick 101 designs and you can have it painted. Paint is temporary. As years go by, it'll fade on you, it'll wear, and then you got to do it all over again. Also on paint, about every 2 or 3 years, you really need to get it sealed. And they come in and they put a seal over top the paint. It kind of helps protect it against the sun from fading out and that kind of thing. So there's maintenance to that. I am really kind of torn between pavers, and they're not 100%, non-maintenance free, you might say. There's problems with those too. They actually take a brick, it's half a brick actually, and they glue it to your concrete driveway. And over a period of time, that glue can come loose, pavers can come loose, they can come out, and so there's some maintenance involved there. And also your pavers need to be sealed. Some people don't do it, but it's recommended that you seal them. So there's problems there. And then they got another one that's epoxy. I call it epoxy. And I'm really leaning toward that one because they can make any design they want. They can make a palm tree in the middle of your driveway. They can make it look any way you want. You come up with the weirdest design you want, any color you want, and they can do it. Now, of course, those colors got to be approved by ARC in the front of your house. A lot of people don't do it. I'm telling you right up front, I recommend get it approved before somebody complains about it, and your $5,000 driveway has to be taken up. So, I mean, that's what I would do. That's just me. Let's see, S. Hodkinson and Steve S. Name and number of lanai painter. Okay. The guy that did my floors, right there. That's his name. Romaldo Mayhewer. He's from Puerto Rico. 352-455-9614. I haven't talked to Romaldo for quite a while. I assume he's still in business. He did my lanai out here. He also done my driveway at the other house I had. So he's done me a fair job at a fair price. So I don't have anything complaints about him. He also done my neighbor's garage and his driveway and his sidewalk and front patio. He's okay. He does a good job. His prices are fair. That's who done mine. Company I use to enclose lanai. Well, Carrie, you need to start watching some of my other videos. I've already covered that. I gave the name and phone number and everything of the company that enclosed my lanai. So go to my videos, slide down, and I think one of my videos actually says lanai enclosure or something like that. And that gives the name and everything. Sharon W., all the golf courses 9-hole. No. Sharon, the 9-hole golf courses are executive courses. All executive courses, that's the free golf. All executive courses are 9 holes. Championship courses here, most of them, 90% of them, are 27 holes. You get into the older side, like Orange Blossom, maybe Hacienda Country Club. I'm not real sure about Hacienda, but there's a couple of them up there, the older ones, they're 18 holes. But after that, you get into Arnold Palmer and all of them, they're all 27-hole country clubs. Obviously, you're going to play 18, not 27. But the reason why they're 27 is they can shut down 9, especially after the snowbird season's over. They can start working on those 9 holes, getting them back up into shape, and still have 18 open. When they get those 9 done, they'll shut down another 9 and get those in shape and still have 18 open. That's why they do that. Sinkhole insurance, I've already covered that. Go down my videos, go down in there somewhere, and you'll see a video in there about sinkhole insurance. I gave the difference between sinkhole insurance, catastrophic ground collapse, and I also gave names and phone numbers of about 6 different insurance companies down here that has sinkhole insurance coverage. Tricia A., to replace countertops and stuff is too much for a new home. Well, you've got a point. I mean, I've always said that in our area, we're a hot spot right now for retirees. That's what it boils down to. Baby boomers are retiring. The Villages has got a niche. The big niche here is all this free golf and golf cart trails that connect you to everything so you don't have to drive a car. That's their niche. Houses here are probably overpriced for what they are. That's a fact. You buy a house here for $220,000 or $250,000, and if you're wanting to get it all completely updated to where you want it to be, and that could be anything. Everybody's got different ideas about what that is. But if you want granite countertops, you're going to have to put them in. If you want to have maybe a tile in every room in the house, you may, depending on what house you buy, you may or may not have to tear out the carpet and put in new tile. If you're wanting to have the house completely repainted inside because you don't like the Village's one color in most rooms, that's the way most houses are. That's going to cost you to have a company come in there before you move in and start painting all the walls. Depending on the house you get, you're probably talking in the neighborhood of $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to paint your house to the colors you want it to be. So yeah, it's something to think about, you know, updating. We're doing it, you know, closing in my lanai. You know, that was several $1,000s to get that done. And right now we're in the process of tearing out carpet in the living room and taking linoleum out of the kitchen and bathrooms and all that. And we're going to upgrade it. I think we're going to have tile run through the whole house. That's going to cost me several $1,000s. You know, you do have to weigh the issue, you know, that a house is only going to be worth X amount of dollars when you're done, depending on how much square footage you got, the kind of lot you have, the location. So, you know, how much money do you put in a house? It's a question we all have to answer. Here's my answer. I'm retired. I've only got so many years left probably to live, you know. We don't know what that is. And if I'm comfortable with whatever it is I want, I just want it. My wife wants it, I want it. We just want to be comfortable and enjoy our retirement. We're really not worried too much about return on our investment because probably, unless something happens, I'm not going to be the one selling this house to start with. My children will be selling this place and putting the money in their pocket and doing whatever it is they want to do. So we just want to enjoy ourselves, enjoy our home, and get what we want. And so we're not really thinking too much about return on our money. Because to us, it is an investment. I understand that, but it's also not. Sometimes at a certain age, it's hard to turn that off. This is really not an investment. This is your life. This is where you're going to live, hopefully, until you're gone. So it doesn't make any difference what the return is. The question is do you enjoy it? So, and right now we're having a great time here. We love this place. We love the villages. We're not going anywhere. And every day that goes by, it seems like I keep running into more and more people that I know or don't know. And yeah, our life is good here, and I'm not going anywhere. So if she wants to put another, I think they told us today, you're going to shiver when I tell you, to put in all new tile through the house, something like $8,000. I know, you work your whole life to make this money, and then you just give it away. But it's what we want, so that's what we're probably going to do. Tricia A, to replace, I already answered that. Okay, I think that's the question and answers for today. There was one other question I got just a while ago. I just got back from golf, by the way. I'm trying to get this thing done so I can get it posted. From Tricia Allen. Tricia, sorry if I don't pronounce that right. Wanting to know about pre-sale homes and talking about that if they have to change some of the flooring or updating things, and can you go in at a lower number? Absolutely. That's one of the great things about buying a pre-owned home. They fall in a typical rule of any other house you'd buy in America. It's only the brand new homes that you play by the developer's rules, whatever they happen to be that particular day. But pre-owned home, that's between you and the owner of that house. The developer has nothing to do with that house. If they're asking $250,000 for that house, you go through the house, you see where you've got to do about $10,000 worth of work to get that house back into shape the way you want it. Shoot them a price of $240,000. They can either say yes or no. You have that option on a pre-owned home. One of the many advantages of a pre-owned home. So shoot them an offer. What's the worst that could happen? Say no? Who cares? There's 10,000 more homes down here that'll be for sale. Come down in the summertime when the weather's hot. You won't have any competition because everybody's going to leave here around April, maybe the 1st of May, and all the home buying here for the season is going to be done. And then in the summertime, you might pick up a deal. So till then, I'm going to get out of here. And a glorious day, a little cooler today, 70 I think for a high, but look at that, sunny, looks great. I'm not complaining. I played 9 holes of golf today, didn't do really good, didn't do really bad, had about 4 pars. I had 1 double bogey, rest of them are bogeys, but I had great beer with great friends and just had a great day. So until then, I'll see you guys on the other side.